Tatum and Brown each had 25 points in the same playoff game for the 16th time as teammates. That's now one shy of Larry and McHale for the most by a duo in Celtics postseason history. Let's talk to Tim here. You said it while we were watching it in Millions War at the end of regulation and in overtime. If the Pacers lose this game, the mental toll it's going to take between now and Thursday. Take us inside.
It's difficult. And look, they're a tough team. They're a resilient team. But here's the thing. It's tough enough to get 4 wins in any postseason. Against this team in particular, really difficult. You had one in your hands. All you have to do is inbound the basketball, make free throws, you win the game. It's really that simple. Their lack of execution in that spot. And look, to give Jaylen Brown all the credit in the world, it's an incredibly difficult three to tie it up. But here's the play I'm talking about. You have guys breaking to the basketball that aren't taking a direct line toward the inbounder. Pascal Siakam, he breaks from half court straight down the middle of the floor. The ball's delivered late. Halliburton, when he broke to the corner, he's not coming toward the ball and forcing Boston to either grab you or you can get easier separation that way, and it leads to this. Jaylen Brown's a great execution. He said he was going to be open before the ball was inbounded. He caught the ball. That's an incredibly difficult shot under pressure, forces overtime, and then in overtime, Jason Tatum really helped close the deal. 3-point play and a big three to help seal the deal. But you've been talking about the turnovers a lot. 22 of them. Yeah. And they led to 32 points. That's the biggest thing. Boston capitalized on every one of those big mistakes, and a number of those unforced. The turnover and the inbounds, but then you saw Halliburton just dribble the ball really without a lot of pressure on him at half court. Another one, and then Siakam gets the ball ripped out of his hands on a drive to the rim. So the turnovers are something that haunted them. It's tough, though, when you got to get 4, man, and you had one to kick off this series, and you basically let it through your hands.
So you're Rick Carlisle now, and you know you had this game. At least you feel like you had it.
Right.
What do you say to your squad to say, you know what, we let them have it, but we're going to get the next one because why?
Yeah, here's what he's going to say to his team, and it was the same exact thing in the Knicks series that I kept saying repeatedly throughout the series. We are playing these games to our liking in terms of pace and style. This was no different. The Indiana Pacers can score on any team. They've done it all season long. They've had 10 games in the postseason, now 11, which they've gotten to 115 points. They're going to score. Question is ultimately, are they going to be able to stop Boston? And I thought Boston, when they played to their strengths in terms of their forwards getting downhill, getting to the lane, Drew Holiday, muscling guys, when they were playing that with that intent to get to the rim, they were very difficult for Indiana to guard. But if I'm Rick Carlisle, I try to make some adjustments there and keeping the ball in front, try to force more contested threes out of Boston. And offensively, I'm saying to my team, look, we did exactly what we wanted to do, exactly what we needed to do. We even withstood that big punch out of the gate, 12-0 to start.
Right.
We erased that by halftime. It's a tie game. We did so many things well in this game. If we take care of the basketball and we do a better job containing penetration, Indiana's got to feel pretty good overall about a lot of the things they did in this game. I guess that is going to be the positive message when they watch this film.
And he could also remind them that, oh, by the way, the Celtics are 0-2 in game twos this season, and both of those lobs obviously coming at home. So that is another positive spin that Rick Carlisle can put on this game.
That's a great point. 26-point loss to Cleveland. You think about it in that last round. Again, Missoula, Carlisle started the game. He's going to talk to Michael, Halliburton, Neesmith, Siakam, all on the way. As soon as they hit the mic, you'll hear him on SportsCenter. Final minute of the game. Mike Breen said it, the grit and resilience of the Boston Celtics. We spent so much time talking about the Pacers tonight. Let's talk about the C's. What did they show you?
Yeah, you think about the pressure that's on them in a game 1 at home in this round, and in a night when you kind of felt like at no point did they get a grip on Indiana defensively. And now here you are facing this deficit late in the game, and you're able to execute an out-of-bounds play. This is just a tough pass from underneath the basket on the opposite side of the floor. That's a dart to the opposite corner, and it's delivered perfectly on time because the defense is right there in Jaylen Brown's lap. To go up, have the concentration to play through that contest and knock that shot down, that is mental toughness at its highest form.
And that's the thing we've seen from this squad throughout the season. That's why they were the #1 seed. But again, late here, your stars have to take over, Tim, whether you get a chance to win it again or not, and that's what Tatum did.
No question about it. He gets the 3-point play in the post when he gets a switch. Great job right there, being physical in the post, good delivery, gets the finish. But then that three was the biggest one. They're down 2, and they run action, And I thought Indiana overreacted to that. They overreacted to Derek White's penetration. You got 4 guys flooding into the paint from the perimeter. Jason Tatum's got 25 feet of space. So on the kick out, it's great poise on his part. He saw how hard Nembhard was closing. Rather than shoot a 3 with a guy flying by you, he gives the up fake, lets him go so he can reset, get under balance, and take a nice shot under control with a great finish. And that put them up 1. I thought that was the biggest possession of the game outside of, obviously, the Jaylen Brown 3 in the overtime.
He had 10 points in the second half. Second most by a Celtics player, not second half, in the overtime. Right. Second most by a Celtics player in an overtime playoff game all time.
And think about all the great players that have put on that Celtics green. From your perspective, you're one of the few people that said, look, this is going to be a series. Indiana's not going to get swept. We were talking about it. The C's were the only team in the NBA that won 60-plus games. We got it, top seed, the whole deal. Now, with what you've seen here, extrapolate ahead to Thursday night and what we might see the rest of the series.
Yeah, I think there's more things for Indiana to clean up, honestly. To me, I thought Boston overall, I thought offensively, they played a pretty good game. They weren't settling for a lot of perimeter shots in this game. They took good three-point shots, and that's something I wonder about them in the regular season. Sometimes they let you guard them too easily because the game comes easy to them, and they take a lot of quick threes. I thought they played really smart offensively. They just had a difficult time guarding a team that is really hard to prepare for. That's what Indiana does. Now that Boston's got a game under their belt now, maybe they'll be a little bit more prepared for this early action that Indiana gets you into. One thing I love about Indiana offensively, there's not one wasted dribble. Nothing they do is without purpose. It's quick and decisive, catch and shoots, catch and dribble drives, and then they push that pace early to get you to retreat, and then they hit the trail action and a secondary offense. So they did so many things that they like to do. At the end of the day, though, they made too many mistakes and cost them this game. I think Indiana has more things to clean up. But the turnovers and some of the defensive adjustments, particularly on Drew Holiday as well, who they don't win this game without Drew Holiday tonight. 28 points. No doubt. His high game in the postseason this year was 18 coming in. Like, if you're Rick Carlisle, you figure Tatum and Brown, okay, that might be 50 to 60 between them. You almost concede that.
Right.
Well, we can't allow 28 points to Drew Holiday. And that really hurt them, and give Drew Holiday credit because he took advantage physically of some of those mismatches with the guards. He just overpowered them in the paint.
I'm on fire. It's Indy,